Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yeah, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams.
And welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are radio for the local craft beer movement, broadcasting from our flagship studios here at AM 920 The Answer in Buckhead, Atlanta. I'm Aaron Williams.
And I'm Tim Dennis. And this week we're heading north. We're heading up to North Georgia, where we'll be talking to Tom Fennell of Fannin Brewing Company.
Yeah, that'll be good. So now I got a couple of his beers here as well, and we're going to be talking Whales of the Week, what's happening in Georgia and Alabama beer, and so much more, because that's the kind of show we are, Tim.
That's what we got to do.
We got to do it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Have a good time.
So how have you been?
Busy.
I know.
This was a crazy week.
It has been.
But I've, you champion through. You do what you got to do, and you just. I had a solo bottle share this week to kind of help with the week and that. So enjoyed a Cocoa Bunny. And,
excellent.
Tried the peanut butter porter from
Yep.
Back 40. Big beer fest, strong beer fest.
Yeah, it was. I tell you what,
that was the big thing of this week.
That was amazing, actually, and I want to give a shout out to the guys from Dry County Brewing Company, Trey, Coop, and Barron. They let me have one of their extra tickets because I was an idiot and didn't buy mine because I just
that's really one you don't want to miss.
No, you don't.
If you're a beer person, that's the fest. So many great beers, so many great beer people. It's one to check.
Yeah, and of course, it's a Strong Beer Fest. It's a festival for all beers over 8%. You got to pace yourself, but we're talking barrel age. We're talking some really big IPAs, just some amazing beers from Georgia and beyond. So it was a fantastic
I went in
one.
there and I'm talking. People are asking about getting there and taking all the big beers and that. And I spent the first 15 minutes of the festival bragging about how good I am about pacing myself.
Yes,
with these big beers, and then 45 minutes later, I'm just
gone. I got to wait a minute, a little bit.
And at that point, I thought the best thing to do was to get up to the bar and start drinking bourbon.
That's good. That was a good. I saw you up there too. I was in line for the Hunapoo Day, and you flagged me down, and then you started drinking that bourbon, and I said, you know what, I have to stop because I will never make it home if that happens. So I mean, like you said, there were at least 50 or so beers on tap from the Strong Beer Fest at Wrecking Bar Brew Pub. Some amazing beers out there. What was your favorite?
That's a tough. I really have to say I'm gonna give a tie.
Okay.
Abandon All Hope from Orpheus and Helm's Deep from Three Taverns.
Yep.
So those two, but outside of those, Excommunication was great. Existence was great. The Mexican Siberius Maximus. Barrel Aged Siberius Maximus. So there were a lot of great beers, and really tough to say, hey, this is a favorite, because there were so many that were just excellent.
No, absolutely. It was kind of on a scale of really good beer and, really good beer at the bottom, too. There was not a bad one in the bunch. And I agree that Helm's Deep, though, that Three Taverns release was absolutely amazing and did win the People's Choice Award at Strong Beer Fest. Again, the Mexican Siberius Maximus, the barrel-aged Rye Baltic Porter from Wrecking Bar as well. Hobnoggin, which I thought was a fantastic double IPA from the guys at Wrecking Bar as well. Cherry Street's Thunder Hops, Maps and Legends from Burn Hickory. Just so much beer out there. It was absolutely fantastic. So a good time was had by all.
Yes.
At least from what we can remember.
And that's
anyway.
a great way to try those beers. Some of them are hard to get. Some of them are extremely hard to get. And so going to a fest like that, you get to sample so many awesome beers.
Yeah, and the price tag may be a little bit steep for some, but like you said, there's so many good beers out there. It's definitely worth the ticket. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the releases, but for example, Helm's Deep's getting released a little bit later, and that's going to be, again, a big ticket item. So you could have had that before and a chance to
tickets
sample it.
On sale Monday, only 100 tickets, too.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. It's absolutely fantastic. So speaking of fantastic, we've got Truck and Taps Beers of the Week.
Crack open a cold one. It's the Truck and Tap Beer of the Week. Woo-hoo! Craft beer and food trucks in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com.
So we have a melange of beers for us to hear today.
Yeah, quite a few great beers this week. So, of course, our guest this week is Fannin Brewing Company.
Exactly.
So we'll be featuring beers from them. I went up and visited Tom at Fannin not too long ago, a month or so ago. I went up there, and Tom gave me a bottle of their Hive Kicker.
Nice.
That we'll be breaking into. And also a bottle of, I believe he said it's a wine and beer hybrid.
Okay.
So we'll get into that. So our pregame and beer this week was Nightbreed from Little Cottage Brewing Company.
Yeah,
so,
John Sherry, actually went up to go brew with him, actually.
I went over there. It was a quick trip. It was kind of a last-minute planning thing, but I went in there, checked it out, and he was nice enough to send us a few beers.
That's fantastic. Thanks, John, and I do apologize for not showing up. I had the wonderful joy of trying to get my house clean because I got new floors the other day.
What fun. But we've also got Smoke on the Porter.
Yep,
from Terrapin. We've got one you brought back that we've tried on the show before. We're going to revisit.
Exactly. This is from Maine. It's the Whoopie Pie Porter. Unfortunately, it was infected when I brought it back last time. Hopefully, it's not infected this time, but I will open it over a garbage can just in case.
Yeah. And we've got a Funky Buddha Saison that we'd got a little bit earlier. Peanut Butter Porter from Blue Pants. So we have plenty to choose from. And some cans of Jude from Reformation.
Hey, Jude.
They gave us a little preview on that. So thank you so much, Reformation. Those will be hitting market next week.
Yeah, and that's their Belgian triple.
That's a Belgian triple. It used to be
Declaration, right? Providence. I'm sorry, Providence.
And so a little rebranding. But Jude will be hitting retail next week and a launch at the brewery next Thursday.
Yeah, it's a nice triple, and it's got a distinctive, nice yellow or gold can, I guess, to it, so you can't miss it. So should be good. Let's check out what's going on in the headlines in craft beer.
What's in the news? The beer guys have the scoop.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines. Sponsored by Your Pie Perimeter in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center across from Perimeter Mall.
So, we're wrapping up the year, and there's a lot of people talking about craft beer. And, of course, the legislative session is going to be here before you know it. And Georgia is, lacking in some of the things, some of the laws that we have.
Put it kindly, right?
Yeah, I'm going to put it kindly here today. So, great article from Kyle Wingfield at the AJC. Nice editorial about that, talking about what Georgia could be looking at North Carolina breweries. He says that North Carolina, of course, boasts nearly 200 breweries. Entire state of Georgia has just 45. That's 48th in the nation on a per capita basis. So I hear a lot of folks talking about how many breweries that we have in Georgia. Like, do we have too many breweries? I hear that all the time.
Right.
Well, actually, we are 48th in the nation per capita. North Carolina is about the same population as we are. And like I said, they've got 200 breweries in that state alone. So
one thing in that article that was interesting, I don't remember the exact quote it was, but one of the things that's brought up when you talk about changing beer laws is hurting wholesale jobs. And it was mentioned in the article that I believe it actually had a positive impact on the number of wholesale jobs, per brewery.
Yeah, and a lot of them, like I said, these breweries who can actually sell directly to the customer, so they don't have to go through a distributor. They can actually sell beer on premises. A lot of them can start in a small town or a small area, grow organically because they don't have to just ramp up their production to get the distribution numbers they need. They can just open a tap room, have a few on tap, maybe have a few kegs and bars and growler shops nearby, and sell some bottles to go, and then grow that way, develop their product, and slowly build as they go.
And when they grow and expand, they're going to need a wholesaler, distributor to help them out.
That's exactly right, and that's where the jobs come in.
That's right.
So interesting a note also down in Statesboro, Eagle Creek Brewery has changed their license.
Saw that. Very interesting.
Yeah, they're a brew pub now. So I guess they're going to change back to a brew pub, which means I don't think we'll be seeing Eagle Creek cans anymore. They can't distribute then if that's the case.
Well, they can, and I don't know the exact way the law's written, but brew pubs can do a certain amount of distribution. It's based on volume and percentages and that. So since they were already set up for packaging, they may be able to do brew pub serve on premise and still send a limited amount out there into the market.
Well, that'll be good. So, definitely very interesting. I want to talk to those guys at Eagle Creek and see their thinking behind that as well. Over in Alabama, we've got a new brewery coming, hopefully in 2017. It was announced that Birmingham District Brewing Company is going to be opening sometime in 2017. I'm going to guess it's in Birmingham.
Birmingham? That's a solid guess, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. So they've been
sometimes they'll throw you a curveball, though.
That's true.
You never know.
That's true.
Yeah.
And they'll mess you up with that. But yeah, so another brewery coming to the Birmingham area, which is great. And a couple of things too in Augusta. They're looking at changing some of their laws. And that's going to mean basically hopefully opening up the downtown area to some more distillers, craft distillers, and craft beer openings there. I know they've already got a couple of, or at least one right now, Riverwatch in Augusta. They've got another one that's being planned too. So they're looking, the city planners are looking kind of opening up, hopefully relaxing those rules to make it a little bit easier for folks to have that craft beer industry downtown.
I know a few years ago there was a city, I believe it was a city councilman, city planner, that this was before there were any breweries at all in Augusta. He made a comment that Augusta was really missing out because they didn't embrace that. So, that brew pubs and breweries and shops like that could really revitalize a small downtown area.
And we've seen it happen in so many other cities as well, so that certainly would be a good thing for them to do. We're going to take a quick break right now. The Beer Guys Radio Show, beerguysradio.com is our website. And we'll be back right after this talking with the owner of Fannin Brewing Company. We'll be back right after this.
I'm Josh Rachel. I'm the co-owner and brewmaster at Jekyll Brewing, and you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the Beer Guy sent you.
Hey, this is Aaron. I want to thank you so much for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We've got some really awesome things that are coming soon that will help us engage with you some more. We're not going to lie to you, though. It takes time, effort, and money to produce the show every week. So if you'd like to be part of the Beer Guys family, we would love your help. Head to patreon.com/beerguys to become a sponsor. We're not going to beg. Okay, maybe just a little bit. But hey, we've got some great swag for those who become a sponsor, and you'll be among the first to know about the great things that are coming to the Beer Guys universe. Again, that's patreon.com, patreon.com/beerguys, or you can go to beerguysradio.com and click the sponsor link. We thank you for your support, and cheers.
It's Aaron and Tim, the Beer Guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out. Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the Beer Guys sent you.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Want some advice? Well, yeah. Well, here's all you need to know. Class is nothing before 11. Beer, it's your best friend. You drink a lot of it. Women, you're freshmen, so it's pretty much out of the question.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. BeerGuysRadio.com. That's our website. We're also on all of the socials and all that good stuff. Tim Dennis, Aaron Williams, and we're also joined in the studio with Nubyjas, friend of the show. He's kind of hanging out with us this episode. How you doing today?
Man, I am outstanding, brother. Now that I'm out of the traffic,
Atlanta
slowly
traffic.
sipping, yes.
And it got a beer.
And I got a beer.
There you go.
Right.
We're good, man.
Best of both worlds. Best of both worlds. So on the phone right now, we've also got another guest as well. Tom Fennell. He is the owner of Fannin Brewing. He is joining us via phone en route from New York back home, I'm assuming. How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, good to be on your show, guys.
Thank you so much, Tom. We appreciate it. So I tell you what, we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the interview here, but well, I guess this is the meat and potatoes of this.
It's the beer. It's the beer and barley or something. Yes.
So Tom, we just opened. I visited your brewery, I guess, about a month ago now, and while I was up there, you were kind enough to send me home with a couple bottles. One being your Hive Kicker wheat wine, which we've got here, and another was an interesting beer that you said you do for the tasting room. That is a wine beer hybrid. So can you tell us a little bit about that? That's what we've just opened here in the studio.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I hope you guys like it. I like to do a lot of experimental beers just in the tasting room. And there's a vineyard that's up by me called Cardique Vineyards, and I've become real good friends with the guy who owns it, Larry Likens. And he's nice enough to give me some of his wine grapes. White wine grapes, when they come in, I have a wine press in my brewery, and so I press them out. It's I was inspired by the Dogfish beer, Midas Touch.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a white wine, two-row honey that this year actually comes from the guy who picks up my spent grain.
Okay.
So
there you go.
He's a cattle farmer / honey wrangler, and he gave me the honey and then saffron.
Those symbiotic relationships, right?
Symbiotic relationships.
Yeah,
that's right.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, this is really nice. It's now. What's the base on this? Is or the beer side of it?
It's really just 2-row.
Okay.
And, I don't have my recipe in front of me. There's a little bit of hops, but I don't think it was even 10 IBU hops. So, so it's really about just kind of letting the wine come through and the honey and just making. I get a lot of. I tell you what, and I think a lot of people might relate to this who've been to tasting rooms. I get a lot of people who come to the tasting room who say, I really don't like beer.
Right.
And that's a hard one to answer when you own a brewery. So,
yes, true.
Yep. And sometimes they're the significant other of somebody who might have taken them there. Mm-hmm. So this one really works.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm almost getting a Riesling on the nose. I'm not a wine guy, but it almost smells like that to begin with.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. And this guy also gave me 2 red wine barrels, Norton grapes, and I put in for my 2-year anniversary, which was last May. I did a farmhouse ale, and then I took my Tacoma Brown, and I aged them in his red wine barrels.
Yeah, because people may not know. Well, I imagine a lot of people listening to this would probably know, but the area you're in is definitely known more for wine
country
in Georgia than beers. So seems like a pretty good mix there. So excellent, very tasty.
Yeah. Speaking of which, tell us about your craft beer story. What got you into this crazy business?
Yeah, well, that's actually perfect segue, guys. About 4 years ago, I was thinking about opening a winery. So I've had a second home up in Blue Ridge for a long time, about 14 years. So I put in a little vineyard at my house, about 100-vine vineyard, and quickly discovered that while I like to drink wine, I'm not sure.
Don't like to.
I'm not sure it's the business for me. I mean, it is. I give a lot of credit to all the wineries up there because you're kind of pushing the envelope for where you can successfully grow grapes. So I was like, well, that's not really for me. At the same time, I was going to Germany a lot for my business. And in the beginning, Berlin, but in the end, I was mainly going to Munich. Of course, was going to the beer gardens. My favorite, I don't know if you guys have been over there, but my favorite is Augustiner. And Augustiner is one of the 7 breweries that can, present their beer at Oktoberfest in Munich. Fell in love with her beer, and then one thing led to another, and started brewing.
Yeah, I think I saw something, Tom, where you were talking about you pressed out all the grapes and you were manually de-stemming that, and you're kind of like, "What is this? This is a lot of work to do this." So
it was a lot of work. Thankfully, my friend Larry, when he gets, I still have my little wine press, but he has a crusher de-stemmer.
A little less work to
a little.
To empty mash tons, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. He does what used to take me maybe 7 or 8 hours. He does in about 15 minutes.
That's good, definitely. Yeah, we're talking with Tom Fennell. He's the owner of Fannin Brewing up in the Blue Ridge area. Now, you've been crafting a beer in the Blue Ridge area for about 5 years or so. Now that you've got yourself and Grumpy Old Men, which opened around 2013, seems like a fairly young craft beer scene, but is it growing?
It is. We're in a tourist area in Blue Ridge. I mean, I think a lot of people listening have probably been to Blue Ridge. Fannin County, believe it or not, has got according to the Chamber of Commerce, last year over 400,000 people came to Fannin County. So it's definitely the destination. Up in the mountains. So we get a lot of tourists who come up from all over, Atlanta, Florida, all over the place. And there's a lot of restaurants, as you mentioned, 2 breweries, and then also a brew pub. There's a brew pub in Blue Ridge called the Blue Ridge Brewery, and they make their own beer too. So the population of Blue Ridge is, I think, only 1,600 people. And of course, there's a lot more tourists who come. So there's 2 breweries, a brew pub, and a cidery for a town of 1,600 people.
Now that's Tom. Do you see more of your visitors being the tourists coming up there, or your locals?
It's mainly tourists. We definitely have, we have a good base of locals and people who live up there full time. People also who own second homes and are up quite a bit. But we're a tourist town.
It's a cool little town. The way things are lined up there, you could walk. I think when I visited, Tom, it was one of the tail end days where it was, I believe it was exactly 137 degrees up there in Blue Ridge that day.
Nice.
So, and as I was walking the downtown area, I was saying, when this cools off a little bit, especially colors changing that, just be gorgeous to walk around there, hit the brew pub, go grab a bite to eat.
There's the leaf peeping crowd up there too.
Coffee shops and donut shops and cookie stores and.
I love it.
And breweries.
It's great. And, 6 years ago, it was a dry county.
Really?
Not anymore.
No more. No more.
It was a dry, I don't want to be telling tales on some of my friends up there, but, dry from the legal sense.
Sure. There we go. I won't say no more.
We know how those mountain towns in Georgia work. So.
That's right. So you've seen a shift in the attitudes towards craft beer overall then in your area over the past few years.
Oh, yeah. I make, for instance, there's a restaurant in town called Fighting Town Tavern, and I make a beer just for them. It's a pale ale with Amarillo hops. It features Amarillo hops. We've got, there's a place called the Boro Inn, and they have maybe 40 or 50 taps of craft beer, and he's an Irish pub, so he has some stuff from Ireland and England too. And it's really, it was, well, like I said, it was dry 6 years ago, but only 2 or 3 years ago, it was just a lot of commercial beer. So, we've got a great thing going on up there.
Awesome. Tom, we're going to take a quick break. Again, we are talking with Tom Fennell from Fannin Brewing Company, and you're listening to Beer Guys Radio, and we will be back right after this.
I'm Steve Anderson, head brewer at Red Brick Brewing Company, and you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Hey, it's Aaron. I want to give a quick shout out to our newest sponsor. It's HopSpot Beer Tours of Atlanta. Now, there's a lot of tours out there, but what makes HopSpot Beer Tours different? Well, you get exposure. There's more to Atlanta craft beer than just breweries. A HopSpot Beer Tour gives you the who, what, where, and when to craft beer right here in Atlanta and the state. Education. Whether you're a native, a transplant, or a visitor, you'll always learn something new. And connection. HopSpot connects you to guests, local breweries, and businesses to create those lasting relationships. We invite you to check out what makes HopSpot different. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter and Instagram at HopSpotATL, and of course, visit HopSpotBeerTours.com. Use promo code BeerGuys10 and receive 10% off your order. HopSpot Beer Tours. Hop on, get connected. That's HopSpotBeerTours.com.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the Beer Guys sent you.
Ahoy there, mateys! Hunting whales? We've got you covered with Tim's Whale of the Week.
You've got quite an impressive list of whales for
There's
your this fair.
A list here.
No kidding.
The waters are churning with large sea mammals.
Yar! I love it.
So
yes.
That's right.
What do we got?
So the first one that I'm sure most people know about, Cocoa Bunny cans are out there, or they're supposed to be.
They should be.
It's a tough one to find. So I did get one can. Thank you so much to Creature Comforts. They were nice enough to meet up with us and share. It's really good this year.
It's funny. Everyone always like to say, last year's was better. Last year's better.
The Beer Geek
I think
mantra.
This year's better with Cocoa Bunny. It's fantastic.
So. And as with anything, there's some debate, on the flavors that are there. But I got the chocolate, the coconut, the coffee. I got it all. And a little lighter here or there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that beer was what it said it was. I went over to Krog City Hop Market.
Hop City Target Market, where they had their little opening. A couple of the guys from Creature were there, and it's worth it. I mean, if you can get your hands on it, get you some.
Definitely.
I found a 4-pack earlier, so that's it. That's all I got.
That's all I've got too. Exactly.
But outside of that, another one that's hitting, and this is another one that's hitting stores and it's disappearing. Different stores are getting it, depending on your location. Burial Beer Company out of Asheville. Their Skillet Donut Scout cans are hitting stores here. So if that's one you can find, bring us some.
I was going to say,
been to several stores looking for that one.
I'd like one too. Exactly. So, speaking of one that need to bring us as well.
Yeah.
In Alabama, you've got one too. Yeah.
So El Gordo Day is today.
It is.
And they're doing their big stout, several variants on that. So that'll be one for our Alabama folks. I'm sure a lot of them will be out there getting that. What's that?
Saturday. Yes. So good people. Yeah.
Yeah. Saturday, which is today.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So.
Sorry, Nubyjas, time shifting is hard for Nubyjas. It's okay, though. It's all
time
good.
Shifty. He's like, what are you talking about, man? So,
it's good.
Yeah. So El Gordo today, Nubyjas over in Alabama. So that's one. Get out there and get it. A big prairie hit around Atlanta.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Pirate Bomb, Christmas Bomb, Pirate Noir, all of those hit. Funny story on the Pirate Noir. So Pirate Bomb is one of my favorites. But I saw the Pirate Noir at the store, and I was curious if I wanted it. I didn't remember trying it, so I go on Untappd to see what others had said, and I found my and I'm like, I've had this before, so I click it, and my all review just said, I do not like this. And I'm like, well, that tells me
that's all you need to know.
So,
that's right.
Yeah. So also Gravitational Wave.
Yeah,
it's going to be next weekend. Yep. That one's releasing from Wild Heaven. And Helm's Deep.
So
super
good.
Short bottle release. A lot of heated opinions.
Yes.
On this beer.
As is per usual.
It's a good stout. It's a fantastic stout. That'll be one to get. And, Aaron.
Yes.
Next Saturday, there's a super secret release that will have more info. Follow our site, follow our social, and we'll fill you in.
Super secret stuff. Yes.
Triple Decatur release.
The craziness.
Oh, man. And, okay, real quick on Helm's Deep, people were fighting over that Strong's Fest. From what I saw, it was either 100% yes or maybe 20% no. I like that beer a whole lot.
20%
fantastic.
No? Those people were wrong.
They were wrong.
I agree.
Exactly.
There were those people who were kind of like, oh, that beer isn't that. I'm like, you guys are missing out. Gravitational Wave, I'm actually going by there sometime soon to go check that beer out. I know they have their release.
On the 17th, I think it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm supposed to be going by there to get with Eric and try that beer out before it comes out. Looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Can't wait, man.
It's good stuff.
So hey,
that's it, man.
Definitely, that's awesome.
That's my wells for the week.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. And coming back now, we're going to go ahead and talk to Tom Fennell. He's the owner of Fannin Brewing Company. Continue that interview. So how you doing out there? You still on the road? You okay? You pulled off? We good?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I'm good, yeah.
You scared me for a second.
He fell asleep
answer.
on us because we rambled too long about our wells.
We just ramble about beer every once in a while, yes.
Yeah.
So during the break, actually, we were talking about your goal of keeping it local. What does that really mean to you?
Well, I think a couple of things. I mean, in the area that I am, up in North Georgia, there's a lot of there's vineyards, there's a big apple orchard, and there's farms. I mean, we're in a small town, rural community. So what I like to do is, as much as I can, is to use local ingredients for the beers. I think that is something that really makes it unique and really kind of makes Fannin beers stand out. It's not all the beers, but I make about 5 or 6 that have local ingredients. Carta K Soul, the one we've just been talking about. Hive Kicker, which is a wheat wine, a little different than a barley wine, but a wheat wine, 9.3%, uses sourwood honey, and sourwood honey is only found in southern Appalachia, and is considered to be one of the best honeys in the world. And so I use that. I make a blackberry Hefeweizen, where I get blackberries. There's a great orchard up in North Georgia called J. Moore Farms. Press those out on my wine press. I make a beer called Red-Headed Woman, after a Springsteen song of the same name. Uses strawberries that are local. So I think it just makes something that is unique, tastes like North Georgia, and connects people to the area.
Awesome. Now, another question for you, Tom. That's Nubyjas. You have a question there?
Yeah, just real quick, man. Being in North Georgia, being in an area where you have so many tourists coming in, like, what are the types of styles you get people asking for the most when they come into the brewery or to the tasting room?
That's a great question. I don't know if I would say so much a lot of stuff. We get a lot of people from Florida, and so they talk a lot about, the breweries that are down there. And I don't get a chance to go down to Florida as much as I would like. I mean, I know some of the bigger breweries, Cigar City, of course, Funky Buddha. I make a lot of German-style beers, and people, they really like that, especially when it's hot. Like you were saying, last time you were up, It was 137 degrees.
Right.
There's nothing better than a German lager on a really hot day.
Well,
people really like that. And then they also, my tasting room, I have a stage and I have music. And so it's not just the beers, and it's pretty comfortable to walk around. It's the whole experience that people have when they come up.
All right, and cool. And speaking of that experience, with you being in Georgia, being in North Georgia, you're kind of far from Atlanta. Obviously, you're not connected to the South Georgia Brewers. So how do you kind of interplay with the guild? Are you able to interact with those guys? Do they come up to see you? Do you come down to see them? You being so kind of detached just by distance.
Yeah. Well, I am a member of the guild, and I'm fortunate in the case that my local representative is David Ralston, who's Speaker of the House. And so I've been involved with the guild. I was involved with the guild quite a bit last year with Nancy and with Joel from Monday Night Brewing, and meeting with David for to work on legislation. And that has been, I think, great for the guild. He was David, he's wonderful in the sense that he really looks out for people, in the whole state, but also in his community. And he has 2 breweries and a brew pub. And so in a like I said, a very small community. And so we've been able to get a lot of his attention. And he was very instrumental in getting us the ability to have the beer to go. I mean, if it wasn't for David, I'm not sure that ever would have made it.
Now, with that said, Tom, with Speaker Ralston, how do you feel? Because you do deal with him, we still need more change here. We've made some small changes that are fantastic, but we definitely need more to be competitive. In our news segment earlier in the show, we did a little comparison. There was an article talking about North Carolina and kind of the boom they've seen there in both brewery and beer industry and wholesale jobs due to some positive changes. Has he given any indication as to his thoughts on continued change within the industry there?
Well, David's all for it. I mean, Speaker Ralston is really all for it. And, it's been, I think we're really lucky because, what I always say to what I've said to some other breweries is that, the Speaker of the House, no offense, could be from Valdosta, could be from Albany, could be from somewhere where there aren't any breweries at all. And it would be really hard to get his attention and educate him on our issues. And so we've been able to really do that, and he understands it, and he's supportive. I just saw him a few weeks ago. And, he's very he's going to be supportive of almost everything that we do.
Awesome. And what would you like to see? What are your hopes, say, for maybe the next session? We're getting close. We'll be getting into that soon, or maybe the long term. What do you kind of see out of it?
Well, what I want is everything.
Sure, absolutely. That sounds good.
Join the club. Yes.
Yeah. What I want is everything. But I'm a realist. As well. So, and he always, David always says, we got to take baby steps, and I think that's really true. I really hope that in the next session we'll be able to get where you can just come in and get a glass of beer. I mean, that's, operating a tasting room, and I think all the other breweries and all you guys go into the breweries and everything. I mean, it's just crazy. The whole tour thing is just crazy.
Yeah.
And,
talking about baby steps, though, some people believe that just throwing the baby in the pool is a great way for it to learn how to swim. I'm just saying, so.
Well, I think we all agree with that.
Right.
We're preaching to the choir, right?
That's right.
So we all agree with that. and we kind of have tried that, and we've had some success.
Right.
But I think maybe trying to just have very specific things that we're trying to accomplish is going to make it easier for us. But I mean, I don't need to tell you guys and everybody listening that. I mean, we should be able to do what we want. I mean, why can't we do what the breweries do in North Carolina? It's crazy.
Excellent. Tom Fennell, owner of Fannin Brewing, thank you so much for joining us on the Beer Guys Radio Show today.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Great.
Thanks,
cheers. And you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We'll be back right after this. Here on the Beer Guys Radio Show, we always encourage you to drink local. And, of course, shop local at your favorite bottle shop. But sometimes you want something different. A beer you heard about online, or maybe you've got a bottle share to attend, but nothing special to bring, or you just want to check out something new. That's where Inside the Cellar comes in. They stock lots of craft beer from breweries that may not be available in your hometown. Shipping is almost free for every 12 you buy, and if you use our special promo code, you'll get 10% off of your order. Inside the Cellar also stocks wines and craft soda, too. And using Inside the Cellar helps us out. So head to beerguysradio.com, click on the sponsors link at the top of the page, and click the Inside the Cellar icon to shop, and enter our special promo code for 10% off, too. That's beerguysradio.com, click the sponsors link, and then go to Inside the Cellar.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Well, I'm sure I'd feel much worse if I weren't under such heavy sedation.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. BeerGuysRadio.com is our website. Follow us along on the socials. Join in. See what we're drinking. See what we're doing.
Definitely.
Share what you're drinking and doing. We'd love to hear it.
We like to hear what people...
And what, you know what? We're actually drinking something that from our other show.
Yes.
So Project BGR, we talked to Funky Buddha.
Exactly.
And they sent us a couple beers.
They did, and I've saved this one for a while.
Yes, because Becky, you were nice enough to mule these back for us from Florida. And so what was the other one they sent? I'm trying to remember.
This snow day. The snow.
Last snow, which I still have not had yet.
See,
oh, you haven't had that? I'm sorry, Becky.
I said the same thing, Aaron, because I told her, I was like, hey, we saved that Saison because I figured you'd had the last snow. She's like, no. I was like, well,
all
okay,
right.
well, we still get. Have you had the Saison, Becky?
No, this is the first time I've had the
so at
Saison.
least that. So undefeated Saison from Funky Buddha. And this is they brewed this in honor of the 72 undefeated
Miami Dolphins.
Yep. And this is a French countryside style ale brewed with grape must and champagne yeast.
Yeah, and it does have that really nice champagne flavor on the nose, and it's got that really nice nose flavor to it. Dry.
So this is another that's kind of a wine beer hybrid.
Yeah, very similar to what Tom was brewing there before. So it's a very interesting.
That's tasty. So we thank you and Funky Buddha for sending that up to us.
No problem, anytime.
So
anything for you guys. Anything for you.
We appreciate
Becky, you're
that.
the
We
best.
love that so
you're the
much.
best.
So
hey,
this is nice.
We're hanging out in the studio too with Nubyjas. He's also a sports guy, so I figured he'd appreciate this Funky Buddha as well.
I feel like I need to have my pinky out when I drink this beer.
You do. It's like a fancy drinking beer.
I mean, I feel classier. Like I need a monocle and
exactly.
I
do declare this alcoholic beverage is So
that's impressive, man.
Where's my monocle?
Indeed, bro.
So yeah, right.
I need the whole thing. The pocket watch, man.
Oh yeah.
This cigar class.
There you go, man.
Funky Buddha, man, they're doing it.
They are. They do a great job. There's a lot of good Florida breweries out there, but yeah, Funky Buddha has done no wrong as far as I'm concerned so far.
Yeah.
Them Cigar City,
right.
Good times.
It's good stuff down there.
Definitely.
So Nubyjas.
Yes.
So you do a podcast.
I do.
So Beer It Is.
Beer It Is.
Is that
All
right?
word,
So
yes.
what do you talk about on that show?
Well,
I bet he talks about beer.
All
There
right.
you go. Slightly, yes. So basically, first of all, I really like what you guys do, and thank you so much for having me out.
Cheers, man. Cheers. You got an empty
I-
glass there.
Let's
I
get a little
can't
bit
do
of
that.
my glass.
That's not good. That's against the rules.
So you had I heard Scott Hadeen.
Yes.
One of our buddies from Burnt Hickory was on with you recently.
Bless Scott Hadeen's heart.
Yes. Oh, so true. So true.
No, man, I love Scott, man. Seriously, he's just one of the good guys in this industry, and we have a background because I'm a journalism guy, so I write for Sporting News, ESPN.com, a few other places full time. Beer is my passion. Started home brewing and then started just tasting good beer. Got lucky living in Atlanta as the craft brew scene started to grow here.
Very cool.
So first was Dogwood, and then seeing my man Crawford, and then going from there, and then getting to Red Brick, and then as that continued to grow, going to Athens, going to Terrapin. So that's how I kind of got lucky and got hooked. But the show was just me sitting down with a brewer, having a beer, talking to him about what it is he does and how he does it. Tastemakers, our mutual friend, like Ale, Sharpton, that guys like that.
Yeah. I had lunch with Ale yesterday.
Oh, man, really? Yeah, I saw the pictures there. You got the future comfort stuff,
Yeah.
Or like our buddy Jace, who does the Hotspot ATL. I had him on recently with beer tour. So basically, I talk to people who love beer, make beer, and drink beer. And we just sit for 30 minutes. We have a pop, we talk, and enjoy each other's company, man.
Now, do you try and stick Georgia, Atlanta, or are you just wherever you happen to be and there's cool beer stuff going on?
Well, one of the things I'm lucky with my sports journalism stuff because it allows me to travel. So at times I may be in Cleveland covering the Cavs. So that means I'm going to Great Lake. I'm going to Hoppin' Frog. At times I may be at Alabama covering a game. So that means I'm going to Blue Pants. I'm going wherever. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in Tallahassee, I'm at Proof. It just depends on where I'm at. Or, for instance, I have Buffalo Bills games. So I went to Southern Tier. So wherever I'm at with sports, I try to combine it, hit a couple breweries, and do the whole nine. So I'm going out west soon. I'm excited about that, and just having fun, man.
It's good, man.
It's a great industry with good people.
Definitely, and we've talked to Ale before about this too. And there's really not a lot of jerks in this business. I mean, you're a journalism guy. I'm a journalism guy. Right. I grew up in it too. Covering beer. I mean, a lot of people, this is their passion, and a lot of people have kind of come from regular jobs and done this, and this is just what they love to do. And it's so much fun to talk to the people who are making this and really enjoying it and just loving what they're doing for a living.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a couple reoccurring themes I've noticed with brewers. The brewers that do the best, everybody says we're a family, right? Whether it be sports teams, whether it be, radio shows, whatever. But the ones who do well, they're actually telling the truth. They actually really have a good bond. They tend to have a good partner, whether it be a wife or for the female brewers, a husband or whatever have you, at least one person in their life that they can kind of count on, depend on, and then they have good people around them to support their dreams. And that's really what it is. I mean, you're not getting in this to get rich for most brewers.
Yeah.
You get the few big boys, the Southern Tiers of the world who may blow up, or you get a Nick Knock who's probably making a bunch of money now, but I'm pretty sure when he got into this,
I was going to say when he started 15 years ago, it wasn't something.
Number one in Sweetwater, he probably wasn't making $35,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? Now he's making it, but look what it took. And so I think that's a twofold thing. One, you're not getting into it to make the money, but two, you're getting into it for the relationships, the bonds, and like Strong Beer Fest last Saturday was so awesome because there were so many people that I know, whether it's I drink their beer, or I listen to their radio show, or I read their blogs, or I see their tours. So when you have moments like that, I think that makes it all work.
And that was the cool thing for me, because this was my first Strong Beer Fest. It was like, I'd hung out and I'd see people that I'd interviewed, seen people that are making the beers, and it was just kind of like a party of Beer Fest. I mean, the beer was fantastic, but the group of the people that were there was just so awesome.
The brewers, the beer reps, just good beer people. I saw one picture that's Mary that does promotions and photography and that for Wrecking Bar. She posted some pictures after the festival, and I see one shot, and it's John from Max Lagers, Brian Purcell, Steve Anderson, and there was another brewer in there as well. But these are people, and they're there talking to everybody. If you try their beer and you like it and you have a question on it, go up and ask them. Yeah. Hey, I tried this. I loved it. What'd you do with this or whatever?
And it was great. For example, Executive. Speaking of John, I mean, I had a great conversation with John and Owen Ogletree. We just stopped and shot the breeze for about 5 or 10 minutes, just talking about what Owen's going to next. And just talking about German beers and those types of things. It was an absolute blast.
I get salty talking to Evan. Or Owen.
Owen, I know, because he's in Budapest
now.
He's in Budapest
now, right?
Must be nice.
His dream, man.
Yeah, man, must be nice.
Well, and it even made Scott behave a little bit. So.
A little bit. Yeah.
Scott did. He was. Now
he was actually. Yeah, he was like clean shaven and good.
Yeah.
But I mean, like when you're there, and first, like I said, I call it the Decatur corridor, where you see Joran and Brian Purcell from Three Taverns. Then you see. The guys, Nick and Eric from Wild Heaven, just all like hanging and enjoying each other's company. I think that really shows how strong Georgia, but even like the gate cities. I mean,
and Brian and those guys were there
too. And the brewers don't get a chance to mingle that much with each other. They're taking care of their breweries, so they're not necessarily visiting all these other ones. So it's not that often that they're able to get together like
definitely. Well, cool. Nubyjas, we got to run. What's your give us a plug here? Where can we catch you?
Catch me on Twitter at nwilborn19. Follow me at Sporting News at Nubyjas Wilborn and the hashtag Beer It Is on the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on Snapchat.
Whoop, beer it is. Excellent. Thanks, Nubyjas. Appreciate it.
Did that just happen?
That just happened. Absolutely. Exactly.
Whoop,
beer it is.
On what you need to know for next week.
That's hot.
So what's going on in Georgia this weekend?
Hot list. Do you use that on your show? Whoop, beer it is.
I won't, but
you do now, right?
There you go.
So, all right.
I feel so awesome now. Awesome.
The hot list, man. So lots of stuff going up. So all throughout this weekend, Cherry Street's turning 4 years old. 12-12-12 is the official date.
Congratulations, Nick.
So they'll be running parties all weekend. On Sunday, Rise and Shine release at Terrapin. It's their newest, one of their newest barrel-aged beers. So check that out. Also on Sunday, Max Lager's Holiday Celebration. On Tuesday, Pints and Pies Ugly Sweater Run at Your Pie Perimeter. So we've got Monday, Wild Heavenly Bells on a Monday night.
Okay.
So, and that is Wild Heaven, Bells, Monday Night Brewing at Midway Pub.
Nice.
So, doing a little collaboration night there. So, on Wednesday, we've got One Off Wednesday at Red Brick, where they offer a one-off beer that they've brewed on tap there. We also have Taps for Tots at Truck and Tap, which is a toy drive.
Yeah.
Some nice beers taken over the taps there.
Great beer list
yes,
for Wednesday.
Great beer list. Truck and Tap, one of our sponsors. Awesome venue. Grab you a bite to eat. Get you something. And Woodstock has passed. You can take your beer to go.
There you go.
Get your plastic cup, walk around, enjoy that. So nice drive there. We've also got Thursday is Pint Night at Your Pie Perimeter, a little feature they do each week, where they have a featured pint from a featured brewery for only $3.14. You see what they did there?
I did.
Aaron, with that
3.14. There you go.
Night.
There you go.
World Beer Cup dinner at Re-Roz on Thursday. On Friday, we have Home for the Holiday beer dinner at the Wing Cafe up in Marietta. Saturday is
huge
beer release mega day.
Yeah.
So there's a bottle waxing at Red Brick for the release of their wine barrel-aged Beer at Envy. Helm's Deep releases at 3 taverns. Those tickets are releasing Monday. There's only 100 tickets. Check out 3 Taverns website.
There you go.
Get them if you want them. So Gravitational Wave releases at Wild Heaven. And as I teased earlier, there's going to be another release that a lot of beer people will want. But that's all I'm going to say right now.
Stay tuned to beerguysradio.com.
We'll get that info
we'll
out.
get you there.
So that's it. And just a quick reminder for folks, we're going into the holidays. I've seen a few emails and messages from breweries that are going into holiday hours.
Yeah.
So before you go out there, we've got a list of times down on our website. But just verify and make sure that they're keeping their same hours.
Call ahead, exactly. So in Alabama, we got some crazy stuff going on. Of course, it's El Gordo Day today. Good People Brewing. They've got some fantastic variants of their barrel-aged beer. So enjoy the El Gordo Day there. Also, Sunday evenings through Wednesday, Wacky Tacky Christmas Light Tour at Avondale Brewing in Birmingham. 12 Days of Christmas, the Pie Face Tournament. I love Pie Face. It's such a great game. At Salty Nut in Birmingham, that is at 5:30 p.m. Giveaway to give away. What do we got?
We do have a giveaway to give away, and our winner this week is Cindy LaPlante.
Nice.
And Cindy will got a nice swag pack to come your way, so drop us an email to beerguys@beerguysradio.com, and we'll get your goods headed your way.
There you go.
Aaron?
Yes, if you want to go ahead and win some awesome swag from our guests and also brewers, go ahead and head to beerguysradio.com and log on and sign up for This Week in Georgia Beer. Tim gives you the rundown of all the cool stuff's happening over the week, releases, events, all that kind of cool stuff. And you get to enter to win their swag pack here, just like Cindy won. So beerguysradio.com and get to the Georgia Beer release of the week, or what's going on for the week. Just sign
This
up for
Week
email.
in Georgia Beer.
Thank you. That's too much hive kicker for me.
Yes.
That's my problem. So, hey, we're going to wrap it up for this week. Coming up next week, we've got some small breweries making a big noise in North Alabama. Mad Malts is joining us next week, so thanks for listening. Check us out, beerguysradio.com, and on the socials, and don't forget, drink local. Cheers. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're on demand via iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Always online at beerguysradio.com. Aaron and Tim are back next week with more about the amazing world of craft beer. Cheers.